go on over to our earthquake report. Oh, first of all, we'll go over Oroville. At 4 o'clock, the reading was 894.17 feet and rising. So, yesterday it went up 0.65 feet, and today, let's see how much it's gone up today. 894.17 minus 0.76. It's gone up 0.41, so almost half a foot so far. So there are other channels who are doing a lot of research and still reporting on that, you know, y'all can certainly, I've left the links for all of those. And Robin Westenra did 2 blog posts yesterday with Oroville about the Oroville situation, and I recommend you look at those. I posted them all in one post on Subscribestar, and he's got links to videos and articles and things with all the latest, but it's not looking good. So here we are with USGS for all magnitudes for the last 24 hours, and we're seeing 267 earthquakes worldwide. Of those, 34 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. So let's see what we need to cover first. I covered this 4.5 in Samlaka yesterday, I think. 5:28. Anyway, well, let's start down here in the South Pacific. And all these times are Pacific time because that's my time zone. Here's a 4.5 south of the Fiji Islands at 6 o'clock this morning. Very deep, 565 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.5 near Port Olri, Vanuatu at 7:34 this morning, 202 kilometers deep. Then over here are 2 near Samlaki, a 4.5 at 5:28 yesterday afternoon, 141 kilometers deep, and a 4.4, this one they're calling it near Kepulauan Barat Daya, Indonesia at 3:16 this afternoon, 160 kilometers deep. Then here's one, a 4.7 near Sindang Sari, Indonesia at 8 o'clock this morning, 98 kilometers deep. Now Bali is right here. That's where Mount Agung is. So that wasn't really setting off that, it doesn't look like. Then we've got 2 here near Bengkulu, a 4.7 at 5:56 last night, and a 4.4 at 6:06 last night. And Mount Sinabung is right up here. So there's that. Now let's see what else is over here. Here's one to the south of Kamchatka, a 4.8 at 8:35 this morning, 122 kilometers deep. Then there's a 4.6 near Bodrum, Turkey. I think this is where we saw a bunch of that methane coming up. This was at 10:27 last night. Then down here next to Madagascar. Remember, there's this little island named Mayotte. It's a volcanic island. It's very active earthquake-wise. Here was a 4.6 in the ocean to the east of it, near Pamanzi, Mayotte, at 3:53 this morning. Let's come across the Pacific to South America. They've had 3 down here today. Here's a 4.7 Acari, Peru at 8:28 last night. Here's a 4.6 near Callao, Peru at 8:14 last night. Those are both in the ocean. Now this one could have been almost an aftershock to that 8.0. It was not that far away. The 8.0 happened, let's get in a little closer. The 8.0 happened right up here. So this one was a 4.5 near Campo Verde, Peru at 7:41 this morning, 148 kilometers deep. So that shook so much, that 8.0 shook so much. I expect more. I would be surprised if there were not more earthquakes in this area. In fact, if we looked at EMSC, there probably would be. No doubt, because they get ones smaller. And we saw this one yesterday near Jan Mayen, this 4.4 that came in at 5:34 yesterday afternoon. So now that's all of the international earthquakes. So let's go to all magnitudes. And we'll start with Hawaii, and we've got 6 here today, 1.9, 0.6, 1.8, 1.5, 1.9, and 2.0. So those are still showing movement. It's not catastrophic, but it's showing movement. Then over here in the Caribbean, we've got 13 here today. Let's see what the largest ones are over here. Wow, we've got a lot of them that are 2.5 we've got 8 that are 2.5 magnitude or higher. 3.1, 2.8, 3.0, 2.8, 2.6, 2.5, 2.5, and 3.2 is that last one that came in. So we had 5 more that were smaller than like under the 2.5s, but it looks like none of them were under 2. This 2.0 was the smallest one. So the size of the earthquakes are getting bigger there, it looks like. Now let's see what's happening in Alaska. We've got 62 here today. Of those, 5 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. We'll go over those real quick. Here's a 3.2 near Unasca Island. Here's a 3.1 Larsen Bay. That's new. 2.5 Kodiak. 3.8 Kodiak. And a 3.0 Arctic Village. So 62. So that we covered all of those. So it looks like they're still just moving up through the center of the state and kind of spreading out. Here's a little one. This 1.9 near Shishmaref. This came in at 122 this morning. We saw one here yesterday too. So that might be shaken apart over there. Here's Kobuk. We've got 12 here today at Kobuk, so that's kind of calming down. And so on. So now let's move on down to the lower 48. We're going to start over here. We got 2 at the New Madrid hazard zone at Ridgely, Tennessee. Here's a 2.7 and a 1.6. They keep having them right there. I don't know why, but they just are. Here's one. Now, we normally don't see them in Colorado, but especially here. Here's a 2.7. They're calling it near Gypsum, Colorado at 6:30 this morning. Now, here's Denver. This is I-70 going west to Grand Junction. And there's Gypsum, Edwards. Here's Vail, Colorado. That's a big ski area. So it looks like it was right next to the highway. So that's pretty good size. Yeah, we normally don't see them there. But there you go. But I'm not surprised, though, since it is in the Rocky Mountains, and the mountains are earthquake prone. A lot of them are, depending on where they are. So, here in Utah, we've got a 1.3 at Tremonton. Let's look at Yellowstone. So we've got a little, we didn't have anything going on up here at Yellowstone yesterday, and it was kind of worrying me. We've got 10 here today, including this 1.9 magnitude quarry blast at Butte, Montana at 12:02 p.m. That's exactly the same time. They have it the same time every time they do it during the week. So the earthquake makers are back at work. Yesterday was Memorial Day holiday. So now they're back at work. So expect to see more earthquakes. So I'm going to call them off. 0.9 Manhattan, 0.8 Virginia City, 1.2 Manhattan, 0.8 Virginia City, 1.9 Chalice, 1.6 Chalice, 0.7 Ronan, 0.9 Manhattan, and a 0.8 Manhattan. So we had a cluster here at Manhattan. So there's that. Now in the Pacific Northwest, we see 2 explosions. Here's one, a 1.4 magnitude explosion near Coburg, Oregon at 2:57 this afternoon, and a 2.3 magnitude explosion near Boardman, Oregon at 2:59 this afternoon. That's large. When it gets up into the 2s, that's large. So on our real-time tremor map today, let's refresh this. For all of yesterday, we had 332 epicenters. That's a huge number. And we can see they were clustered up here near the northwest Washington state, to the west of Seattle, and then they were here to the west of Salem, Oregon, and then down here to the northwest of Medford, Oregon. So we've got 3 good-sized clusters, with this one up here at Seattle being the highest. So this is where we're seeing some of this activity. So here's this point 4 near Amboy. Now that's Mount St. Helens. Let's see how close. Oh, it's right on the mountain. Look at that. It's right in the crater. I mean, you can't get any more that's on the side of the crater, but that's in the crater. This is it here. It's a huge volcano. That one came in at 10:33 this morning. Look at this. Here's one right next to Portland at 1.6 West Haven at 7:36 this morning. So here's Salem. So that next cluster was right down here. And here's, oh, that was an explosion. So I thought there was another earthquake. Oh. Maybe it was this one. Yeah. 1.3 Mount Hood Village. Mount Hood. That's another volcano right up there. So I think Mother Earth is waking up, definitely. And these explosions are not helping matters any. So now let's look down here. In Northern California, now this is Lake Oroville, this is Lake Almanor. And we've been talking about these two because the water levels are getting so high, and they're not releasing water for various reasons that I won't go into right now. And the water, I'm thinking, is putting extra pressure on the tectonic plates, and we're seeing earthquakes not too far from these lakes here. And we saw 3. We saw 1 up here yesterday and 2 down here. So here's a 1.2 near East Quincy, California. This one came in at 6:08 p.m. last night. Here's a 1.2, also East Quincy at 9:39 last night. Now this one was at the surface. This was 0 kilometers depth, so that was right at the surface. Or how deep was this one? 5. Then down here, this is Cold Springs, Nevada, but it's in California. The reporting station is Cold Springs. There was a 0.6. So, and then down here near Truckee was a 0.5. So then here was an explosion, 1.0 magnitude explosion at Spanish Springs, which was between Sparks and Pyramid Lake. That doesn't help matters any. But I was thinking, I was looking at these lines yesterday, the way they were lined up, and it almost looked like the way the earthquakes were lined up yesterday, that it went in a line like this through this area. So I don't know. I think time is short. That's all I know. Now in Nevada, here's a 1.5 at Urington, 1.7. They're calling it Bridgeport, but it's Nevada. We've just got some small ones down here at here we've got 6 in this area in southern Nevada. These are small. Looks like the largest one is this 1.5 at Alamo. So Alamo has calmed down. Now look at Mammoth Lakes. We've got 19 here today. That's an uptick. So we've got a cluster right up here. See, they're just piling up. We got 14 right there at one spot. Here's one at a negative depth. It's a 1.3 magnitude earthquake at a minus 2.4 kilometers depth. So the epicenter was up in the mountain, so it's showing movement of the magma up in the mountain. So here's a 1.6. Looks like that's the largest. So it's just stuff is happening. Time is shorter. The clock is ticking. 32 down here near Coso Junction. Here's Olancha. Let's kind of zoom in and get this isolated. We've got 21 at Olancha today. Let's see how many of these are 2.5 magnitude and higher. So we've got 2.6 and 2.5 at Olancha and a 2.5 at Little Lake. So the rest of these are, looks like in the ones range. Here at Olancha, here's a 2.4. So all down here at Coso and Olancha are 32. So that's an uptick. Definitely. Here in Baja was a 1.7 near Delta at 10:53 this morning. Here in Southern California there are 42 today. So that's an uptick. Here's an explosion. Quarry blast, 1.2 magnitude near Rancho San Diego. Let's see if any of these are 2.5 or higher. No. This one. That's at Orcutt, a 2.5. So here's the San Andreas fault line coming down. So we got our clusters around. Doesn't look like 42, but oh, here's a cluster. This is at Glen Avon again. We've got 11 here today. Here's the Prado Dam, Prado Reservoir and Dam. Our landmark here is Corona, and it's to the west of that. That next intersection is where the Prado is. Coming on up, 2.5 Orcutt, 1.6 Tehachapi, 1.1 Parkfield, 0.9 Pinnacles, 1.1 Ridgemark, 1.2 Tres Pinos, 0.6 Aromas, 2.1 Rio Vista. And then at the geysers here today we have 34. And we have 2.7 there. That was the highest one at the geysers. So those are ones and under for the most part. So I'm very concerned about this earthquake activity up here in Northern California. I really think that it's because of the weight of all the water in these reservoirs and they could be being beamed. You know, they could be beaming this whole area. We've certainly seen enough weird stuff on NASA Worldview. In fact, let me pull up NASA Worldview. I'm going to pause this and pull it up and see if I can find anything. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here it is from today. And I saw heavy beaming over all of California and Oregon and Washington a few days ago. I didn't report on it, but I did see very heavy beaming. And over the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, I see. This is beaming. You can see it. Here's Reno, here's Redding. So Oroville is over here. Look at this. You can see the evidence of the spraying. This makes me crazy to look at this. That's all beamed. You can see it. Here's Chico. Here's Oroville. See, it's all cloudy here. Here it was yesterday. Look at this from the 23rd. Look at that. I've seen clouds made just like that come out over Reno, and they got the ripples coming out of them, and beams out and covers the whole sky and then goes away in about half an hour. I've seen that, something just like that. And it was created. So you can see all these, that's all beamed. Now there are such things as wave clouds. that appear over mountain ranges and certain types of topography, but I don't think these are wave clouds. Look at this. See? It's a mess. It's just a mess. Was this the day I was looking at? For so much beaming? Yes, this was the day. Look at this. Here, right over California, Nevada, coming all the way across. Look at this. Of course, Oroville is right down here. That was on May 22nd. You can see it over here. You can see the ripples going out and then going this way. It's like crosshatches. Dane Wigington talks about crosshatching. Look at this. I mean, what a mess. Look at these. This is not normal. This is just not normal. Here's some more. See, look at that. So we're being cooked. We're literally being cooked and fried with this stuff. So you've been feeling weird or out of it or having problems physically. There's a reason for that. It's this stuff. It makes me crazy. Anyway, let's see if there are any other earthquakes that have come in. We'll finish up with our earthquake report. What's coming up here? 3.1 Larsen Bay, 2.9 Puerto Rico, okay, I've covered all those others.